start.
No.
Yeah. Let's start with 1 minute Simran without vichar. Why? Guru. 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 Thanks for joining us on day 2 of this birthday week lives that I'm doing, and I really appreciate you joining me on this journey for 7 days. Today we're going to talk about fighting. So I thought of this topic on the way home today. Me and my wife, Darshakor, used to fight a lot, and you might be surprised to hear that, considering she's a psychologist and I don't seem like the person who would have a fight. But we actually used to have a lot of conflict in our marriage, and it lasted a long time. But I'm not here to tell you about all the fights we had. But what I'm here to tell you about is that we don't fight anymore, or we don't. It's been a few days, and we feel really blessed to be in a position where we had such a turbulent period of time, and then things are so good. So we wanted to share some vichar, some thoughts on that in terms of intermarital conflict and resolutions for it, because I know it's something that lots of people struggle with. I'll start. I think the main thing that's helped us is Simran, and I know Darshko will say the same thing, because it's allowed us to get onto the same page, and little things that probably used to bother me, or the little things that used to bother Darshan Kaur, they don't anymore, and they're not the cause of conflict. And actually, I think we're better people since we have been doing more Simran, and it's only been a short period of time, and we don't do that much, but it's really changed our life and changed our relationship and changed our marriage.
Yeah, it has.
Thank you for that insight. It's really helpful.
Yeah, no, it's, I think I've spoken quite a lot before about how much conflict there used to be, not just with each other, even when Bhagat was born, and how tough that used to be sometimes managing, for me personally, managing his big feelings and things like that. And then the different demands that come with being a mother and then a wife, and then trying to hold down a career as well and things like that. So I think for a long time, I personally used to have a lot of outbursts, like anger outbursts, where I would literally just lose it, and I would say things and behave in ways that I would later regret. And in the moment when we would be fighting, or I would feel like some issue had occurred, I would feel like I was in the worst place in my life mentally. I would feel like there was no hope. I would feel like stuck in like a marriage that I didn't want to be in. The thoughts would lead me down a really kind of dark path, basically. And then later on, when I would feel better, those thoughts would not be there anymore, and I would be like, what was going on in that space, right? But I couldn't, I never could, no matter how much I tried, no matter how much I tried to psychologize myself and understand the origins, or look at my history, or try and look at patterns, I could never quite manage those moments where all of it would just go out the window. I would completely lose all logic, rationale, anything, and I would just be completely and fully angry, emotional.
And in Katha, they were saying that in Punjab there's a kahavat that if one person says something and the other person listens, that doy brahm gyani, that there's another gyan, that you can be worldly educated, you can have PhDs and degrees and come across as whatever you want to portray yourself as, but it won't necessarily help you in your marriage. It won't necessarily mean that you won't have conflict. It won't necessarily mean that you're patient or tolerant or content, have all of the virtues that you need to have as a married couple for you to have a kind of happy, peaceful life. But Gurbani and Sangat, they teach these gun. In Gurbani, it says, Satsangat Sarkul Chat Sal Hai Jat Har Gun Sikha. That Satsangat is a school where you learn about God's virtues, and in learning about them, it helps you change and take on some of those virtues to some degree. So it's changed our life. We're Sukhi, and we owe it all to God and Sangat and Simran. So let's do 1 minute Simran again, just to close off with no vichar. And the technique as per Gurbani is Tun mein dhyan, dhyan mein janya, Gurmukh kat kahani. That you have to speak with your tongue, listen with your ears, and keep your eyes closed. Karo shuru. Why Guru, 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 why Guru. Please forgive any mistakes.